Supergirl number 16 with Jodie Houser and Steve Orlando writing with Robson Rocket on art. Following on from last issue, which was obviously the first Jodie Houser co-written issue, which
Yeah.
we thought was a nice uptick into sort of nailing a bit more of the character voices, maybe
Yes.
some of the consistency.
Change of the status quo. The
Yeah,
DEO hunting her actively, and nice change of pace from where it was. Not that it needed a change of pace,
yeah, we
but
were enjoying it, but I do think it's up.
yeah,
I think especially
it's a
now
gear
after
shift.
two issues now, I'm like, no, this is better than it was before, and I'm
Yep.
happy about that. So Strange Visitor's there, and she's wreaking chaos, and Supergirl's like been so like, no, you shouldn't intervene because this is what the DEO want you to do. But she can't not. However, Insight shows up first. Insight. Now I'm glad they pointed this out
They reminded
specifically.
us of
Yeah,
yeah.
because this was way back in issue 1. This was someone who'd been captured, and Kara had been going to see to try and rehabilitate essentially, and
Yeah.
see the error of his ways and be better. And he actually shows up here to be a hero and try to help. And then Supergirl does show up because he's about to get his ass kicked, and Supergirl shows up. She's trying to talk sense into Strange Visitors, like shower in advance, like wake up, like this isn't you, kind of thing. And it turns out she actually does eventually kind of wake up, and then the DEO shop and sort of put her back in. It's basically like one of those t-shirt guns. They suck her into one of
Yep.
those. And what we find out later on is, and I actually kind of love this, is that Bones is basically taking some of these like C-list and D-list like characters and trying to cause chaos, so Supergirl will show up and try and help, but
Yep.
make a mistake, so they can like get
Luring her out there.
the public perception can be worse, and they can sort of draw her out and all that kind of stuff. And so
Hmm.
I'm liking that this is all ultimately Bones playing games and trying to
Yeah.
capture
Well,
Supergirl.
and then at the end, it's that one girl who I can't say her name, even if I read it. Uh,
Decelia?
yeah, like Cecilia. It kind of backfires on Bones because she's like, "Oh yeah, your conditioning wore off. Now I'm going to start murdering people."
Yeah, because the whole
And
thing is apparently, at least he's not completely crazy. He's conditioning the
yeah,
villainous ones to not harm innocent civilians.
yep,
But at the end, she's on this cruise ship and she's just like, yeah, I'm going to kill everyone.
yep. And what I liked was in the middle, you had that discussion between Ben and that new girl.
Belinda, I
Uh,
think.
but yeah, Belinda about what Catco and the DEO are doing. It's not good. It's like, yeah, Supergirl has some flaws, but she does more good than harm. And with Catco now leading this propaganda, and the DEO like infringing on rights of like the
Hmm.
students, like because you see the scene of asking for birth certificates and other information. Like
Yeah,
this is not good.
it's
You
like
can't justify it, and Ben's trying to. He's like, yeah, but this is for our own good. They're keeping us safe, and I think it's a nice commentary on some things that are going on in the real world.
yeah, he's trying his best, and like, because
Hmm.
there's that little moment at the end of that scene that I really, because I like the Supergirl. You hear her narration, she's like, oh, I see
Yeah,
why, because Belinda's sticking up for Supergirl, and she's like, oh, I see why you
yeah,
like her, Ben, in her head. Um,
yeah.
so it's playing with the teen angst stuff there, just a little
Yep.
bit. There's not a lot of it in this issue. It's just that one little reminder that she maybe has feelings, and we can,
Hmm.
it's just sort of making sure it's still there. But at the end of the scene, like, Ben, what does he say? He says something kind of radical. Like, maybe Supergirl shouldn't help people who treat her the way that Dio does. Like, he sort of suggests that maybe she
Right.
shouldn't help people who don't help her back. And all she says in the narration is Ben dot dot dot, and it's just this idea of like, no Ben, that's like, she's disappointed that
That's
he
how it
said that.
works.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm liking kind of the themes it's playing with. It's playing with the idea of like, well, should she step in and help people, even though it's more dangerous for her, even though people want to capture her, even though
Right.
people are seeing her as a villain. It's like the idea of no, I'm going to step up and be the hero anyway because that's who I
Yeah.
am. Like, I'm liking what it's doing with that stuff. It's really playing with that.
Well, and to me too, as a longtime Superman fan, it kind of this is the type of stuff I feel like they could have hit on with Snyder, you know, but he completely whiffed on it. So it
Oh
shows to
yeah,
me like if you have a competent storyteller, you can play with these themes and it can still work, and
yeah,
I think it's working really well here. Well, and then especially with like her parents, like they're trying to live a normal life still. Like they take her out to dinner, and she's like, "Oh, I can't find the chicken and the chicken fried steak."
did you use your
Like,
X-ray vision?
yeah, like so they're trying, but to live this life, and
Yeah.
it's not.
And even that moral debate's still there, because like Kara says, "Oh, the DEO are all corrupt now," and then they say like, "No, but there's still a lot of people who work there who are actually good people. They're just following their orders." So again, it's just following that. Like, everything's not just black and white. There's shades of grey.
Nope.
There's good people mixed in. But no, I really like the insights, like because he actually like saves her kind of like at the start when the DEO agents are going to like start closing in on her, and he like lets off this giant flashbang so she can get away. And then he's like, it only lasted a few seconds, but that's all she needed. And then later on, when Bones is like, got him captured, and he's like laughing at him, he's like, "Ah, you sure you've solved all my tech that you thought you've deactivated? Maybe not." But I'm liking that. I'm liking the whole idea that she actually has inspired someone to be better. It's a nice. It ties it really nicely into like what Supergirl does. And I think again, what I said last issue is that I'm loving the character voices. I think it's really feeling nailed now. I think Hauser on board's really, that's the big effect that I'm seeing.
Yep.
So no.
I agree there.
So I like Ben. Blind has grown on me. I think so far I'm liking that. And also they're going to get really suspicious of Kara because she ended up flaking out of the last issue, and then the DEO agent in this one tries to question her at school, and she quickly, when she hears people in the cruise ship in trouble with her hearing, she uses her heat vision quickly to set off the fire alarms and just hopes that no one notices. But they're at the very least going to start noticing that she keeps like having reasons to disappear. Yeah. So no, I'm digging it a lot. So we have the cliffhanger where she shows up to fight Decelia on the ship, and we just kind of end mid fight. And Robson Roca's art's pretty good again.
Solid.
Yeah, solid. I'm enjoying it. I specifically like the. I guess I'm liking the color palette. Like it's vibrant, but it's not too kind of cartoony feeling either.
No, not like Chang was. Chang was cartoony in a good way.
Oh yeah.
This is it's its own thing. Like feels like comics. Like it really reminded me of when I started reading comics again.
All right, I was going to say,
2000s.
Feels like comics on a comic book. Yeah. Matt Sculthorpe, 2017.
Yeah, but there's some that feel more cinematic and not like comics. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this is very to me, it's of an era. That,
feels like the 2000s.
I came up reading on. Yeah, and I like that.
Yeah, which I would say is a compliment. I like what 2000s comics looks like for the most part.